weakness. Okay, just we are going. We are there because it's Shabbat, because we have a special appointment with our Creator, Yeshua, and we want to be pleasing to Him. So, and this is the time that we're going to listen to His word. It's not the word of a man. We don't want to listen to someone. We are tired to listen bad message, means the news of the world. We want to hear what Elohim has for us. So we are going to pray to start. We are going to present our life, our heart. We could ask, let us ask Yeshua to touch our heart. And He is able. His Spirit is with us to transform our life. Elohim Yeshua, we are in the presence. And we know, as your word says, that without you we cannot, nothing to do. From you we get the breath of life. We have everything. And with you we have salvation. You forgave us, you erased our sins. And now you want to feed us with your word. And we need to listen to your word. Touch our heart and may that your word come and transform our life, transform our soul, change and touch our soul, change our mind. I pray for those who are in Zoom and for those who are present and for those who are present here. Be glorified in our life. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, I pray. I don't drink water enough, but when I'm here, I don't know why, I drink more than usually. Ouvir le verset, parce qu'il y a la caméra qui m'écarte le verset. Ah, ok. Yeah. Okay, fine. So, let's start. A couple of weeks ago, I started a series about the Tabernacle. And why it's so important to know the Tabernacle is because the Tabernacle is a summary of all the Bible, and it's very important, the pattern of Elohim. And our life must be according to the pattern of Elohim, and we could get the example from the Tabernacle. And today we continue the series, but in the first instance, before to continue, I would like to make a brief summary to the fifth part. Elohim said in Exodus 25:9, make a tabernacle and its furnishing, all its furnishing, exactly the pattern I will show you. Why I use and I kept the same verses because it's important to understand that all the elements we touch must to be according Elohim pattern, not according our pattern or church's pattern, but according to Elohim pattern. So in the part 6 we learned that the things, The tabernacle was surrounded by a fence, and the fence is the Torah. The Torah is the 5 books, the first 5 books of the Bible. And the Torah is about grace, Elohim grace. And the Torah is also about redemption. What is redemption? Redemption is to set people free. People think that Torah is to make people slaves. No, Torah makes people free. And we could see when David wrote his song and he proclaimed and he directed the songs to Elohim, and he said, I will walk in freedom because I should walk according to your Torah. After that, we learn that Torah appoints to the Messiah. All the Torah appoints. When we take every single letter in Hebrew, every single letter have a value number. And when we take the name of Moshe, every single letter, plus the name of Eliah, Moses, the Torah, Eliah, the prophet, equal Yeshua, gave the same number, the same amount, total, 391, the number. So everything is Yeshua, all the Bible. After that, we learned that we defined what is Torah. Many people, they don't have idea. They only listen to Torah and they run away, they are scared. But Torah is an instruction. Torah is a covenant. Torah is the ketubah. What is ketubah? Ketubah is the legal contract of marriage with Elohim, the Creator, and His people, Israel. We are His people. And when we keep Torah, we are walking according to the contract of marriage. Also, after that, Torah is the constitution of the nation of Israel. Then later, we saw that the word Torah refers or means instruction. Same instruction, commandment, decrees, and also contains law. In Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 1, Elohim says, love me, be carefully to love me, doing my instruction, my commandment, and decree and law. We studied after that Torah comes from the roots of Yara. Yara, the meaning of Yara is to throw a arrow with the purpose to hit a target. Here is the meaning of the word, root word. After that, I mentioned that Torah is the highest level of knowledge and revelation. According to the fence, because the fence had 5 cubits high. What Torah teaches us in Deuteronomy 4 verse 2, Elohim said, do not add and do not remove away from this commandment. For from everything I told you, don't add, don't take away. Why? Because it's already perfect. It's already the high level. We cannot add more because it's God's perfection. And I gave the example in Matthew chapter 16 verse 6. Yeshua said, be careful, be in your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees. What kind of yeast? The yeast is all the wrong teaching of the Pharisees. They teach more, and they gave more rules, and they add more commandments. Here is the gist. Why? They wanted to improve the Torah, make better the Torah. The human being cannot make better the Torah. The second point that I spoke was that the Torah endures forever. Matthew 24, verse 26 says, the heavens and the earth will pass away. Therefore, my Torah, my word, will endure forever. In addition, I thought that Torah is a fence of protection, a spiritual protection and a physical protection. For this reason, Paul advised Timothy in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 5. He says that he says, similarly, anyone who competes as an athlete does not receive the victory's crown except by competing according to the rules. For us, comparing to the athlete, what is the rules? The Torah. This is the Torah. And we want to have the crown, we must to be walking according to the Torah. And the Torah is the protection physically, of course, because the Torah teaches us what we have to eat. Torah forbid to eat pig, forbid to eat shrimps, and all the others unclean animals. And that's why? Because we are the temple, and Elohim wants to keep the temple clean, and for we have a good health. I could be a good example, because in the past I didn't respect the Torah. I ate pig all the time, anything unclean, and my health was very, very low. So now we're going to start. We are going to begin the part number 6. But before, let us start with door's definition first. What is a door? A door is a hinge, otherwise a movable barrier, that allow ingress or egress into an enclosure. And a door essential and primary purpose is to provide security by controlling access to the portal. This is the first definition that I found. And the second one is a door is an opening, giving access to a place. I like it both. And as we could figure it out, many kind of gates. I don't know if you already saw the Golden Gate. The Golden Gate, the gate of Ishtar Gate. There is the gate of Dan, and the gate of Egypt. That are very interesting to know. And the Golden Gate is in Israel, is in the temple, and we have another gate, and the gate that we find in the Bible is the gate of Jacob, or the stairway of Jacob. After I'm gonna speak about it. In Exodus 27, let's go see Exodus 27, verse 13 and 16, says that On the east end, toward the sunrise, the courtyard shall also be 50 cubits wide, curtain 15 cubits long, are to be on one side of the entrance, with 3 posts and 3 bases, and curtain 15 cubits long are to be on the other side, with 3 posts and 3 bases. For the entrance to the courtyard, provide a curtain 20 cubits long of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer with 4 posts and 4 bases. According to what we just read, the gate entry to the tabernacle was placed at the east end of the court. Why? The word itself in Hebrew reveals a better insight. In Hebrew, the word gate is Kedem, and Kedem is translated by east, old, and ancient. What it is the meaning, or what it's revealed to us, that the word of Elohim, the Torah, the life, and all the custom of Elohim came from the east. The scriptures declare that Elohim planted a garden in Eden in the east. Also, the tree of life was in the Eden, in the garden. And also, in addition, Elohim, he put the man in Eden. Everything started in the Eden at the east. We could see it in Genesis chapter 2, verse 8. I don't have here, but in Genesis, what I told you is in Genesis 2, verse 8. For this reason, the Messiah was foretold that had to come from the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah was the lead camp of the east side of the tabernacle. In the book of Micah chapter 5, verse 2, says, "But you, Bethlehem, Ephrathah, Booth, you are small among the clans of Judah. Out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from the old, from ancient time, from Kedem." Here is why it is important. Moreover, the second coming of the Messiah must be from the east. What Yeshua told us in Matthew 24:27. He says, "For as lightning that comes from the east, from Kedem, is visible even in the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man." The scripture says that he will put a foot in the mountain of Sinai and another one in Jerusalem from the east. So the words ancient, old, and is appointed where all things come from. On the other hand, at the west, what we have at the west of the tabernacle, we have the tribe of Ephraim, we have the tribe of Manasseh, and the tribe of Benjamin. And this speaks about, it refers toward the other nation. We are in the Ocean. We are those other, even if we are Israelites, because Yeshua, this is the prophecy. That goes the door. Yeshua goes toward all the nation. Now let's go see the word gate. In Hebrew, gate is chahar, and the word literally means to complete a business transaction. The meaning provides a better insight of the activities that was held at the gate in the ancient time. In fact, the cultural world of the Bible, the gate, and especially city gate, played an important role in the life of the community. I have 4 little points to show that, what I said before. The first one is the city gate were probably the location for the marketplace. We could have that in 2 Kings chapter 7:1, and we have other ones, but we're going to read only one. New Elisha replied, "Hear the word of the Lord. This is what the Lord says about this time tomorrow. A seer of the finest flour will sell for a shekel, and 2 seahs of barley for a shekel at the gate of Samaria." You could see it. The gate is the marketplace. The second one, the city was a place where people settle their personal affair. That we could come with the example with Abraham. When Sarah passed away, Abraham wanted to bury Sarah. And then what he did, he appealed. He wanted to buy a field from the tithe, and he appealed a gathering of all the tithe. Where? At the gate. It is the place of gathering. In the hearing of all the tithe who had come to the gate of the city. So they listened and they came. They received the appeal and they came to the gate. This is in Genesis 23, verse 10. And we have others examples like Ruth and Boaz. In the book of Ruth, chapter 4, verse 1 and 2, in the same idea. And the third point is that the gate was also a place where prophets delivered their message. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 38:7, and also we have the history there where when Abimelech, he learned that Jeremiah, he was they put in the prison Jeremiah, and they put in a cistern. We're going to see there. But Abimelech and Cushit, an official in the royal palace, heard that they had put Jeremiah into the cistern while the king was sitting in the Benjamin gate. Why he was there in the gate? Because the gate was the place where prophets delivered the message. We have the fourth point we have is the gate where the place where elders and judges will render judgment. There we have Proverbs Proverbs chapter 31. And we have also Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 19 and 20. And it is written like this: his father and mother shall take hold of him and bring him to the elders at the gate of his town. They shall say to the elders, this son of ours is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey us. He is a glutton and a drunkard. You see, everything happened at the gate. So the gate was very present and important in the ancient time. Why so important? Because the gate is an access and a connection. Throughout all the Bible, the gates were everywhere. And the city were surrounded by large walls, and the gates were the only entryway into the city. You cannot enter through another place, only by the main gate. Not many of all know that in the ancient time, the gate city had a small door. When we read the history of Samson in Judges chapter 16, verse 3, we know that the Philistines wanted to keep eating Samson, capture Samson, and what Samson did, he held up the gate city and he lifted up and put on his shoulder, and he carried on and brought it on the top of the hill. There is one gate. Bible didn't says that there is a small gate there, but usually more of the gates have a small door. We are used to read in the scriptures in the book of Mark chapter 10 verse 15 what Yeshua said. Yeshua said, speaking about the rich people, he says it's more easier for a camel pass through or go through the eyes of a needle than a rich enter to the heaven. Right away we start to get confused and we say, why he says that? It means that no one goes to the heaven? It's impossible? No, it's not really that. By God's mercy, we went to Israel in 2017, and there we met the place, what is called the Neo, what is called the ice, what is called the eyes of the Neo, something like that. The little door. The meaning is that what Yeshua was saying is that the eyes of the Neo, he was appointing to the big gate, the city gate. Why? What he was saying? Usually in the past, people get out the city to work, to make business, but at the end of the day, some people were late, but the gates were closed. The gate of the city got closed at let's say at the sunset, and then for the people who were late, what they did, they opened only the small little gate beside. And we saw it in Israel. There is the big gate with the little gate. And what Yeshua was saying, that when people comes with their camels, and the camels were very low with all kind of basket, chicken, many things. So if you want to get in with your stuff, you need to push very hard the camel. And even you need to remove many things from the camel, because it's not gonna be easy. You must to push a lot. Here is the meaning of that. So only to let you know that about the small door, to put you in the context of the small door. The city gate, so important because protected the city, blocking and preventing the access, not letting come in foreigners or strangers or enemies. In all the city gates, they had a doors keeper, people who were there protecting the door. In the Torah, in the word of Elohim, the Bible, we have a special gate apart the Tabernacle gate. What kind of gate it is? This gate mainly was opening an access and making a connection between who? Between Elohim and the man, the human being. We could see it in Genesis 28, verse 12, 13. And then we could read that he had a dream in which he saw a stairway resting on the earth with its top reaching to heaven. And the angel of God were ascending and descending on it. In the verse 15 says, I am with you, I will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. When Jacob awoke from his sleep, he thought, surely the Lord Elohim is in this place, and I was not aware of it. He was afraid and said, how awesome is this place! There is none other than the house of God. There is the gate of heaven. We come back with the gate, but now is the gate of heaven. What revelation Jacob was receiving? First, Elohim was taking away, the revelation is that Elohim was taking away the wall of separation, because the sin, in that moment, he was telling Jacob, I will remove the wall of separation between me and the man. And then I will give access to make a new connection with me. The second point is that Elohim was revealing Jacob that through his descendants, Elohim was going to come as the one who is the Messiah. He will use one of the children of Israel, Jacob, and then Elohim will come as the Messiah. The second point is that the connection, the access, doesn't depend from Jacob, from the human being, but the access, who gave the access, who created the access, is Elohim himself and not the human being. The access, connection, the one who restored back the relationship, the communion with Elohim is Elohim himself and not the human being. This is the third point. Why Elohim reveals to Jacob what are going to take place in the future? Why? That means that the gate that make access and connection with Elohim was disappeared, was lost. That's the fact. We had lost the gate. The men had lost the gate. Where? We have lost the gate that provides a direct access to be connected with Elohim. When it is happened, it happened and occurred in the Garden of Eden. In the beginning, Adam and Eve, they had the gate open. They had the access to everything. Everything was allowed. And the gate allowed them to be connected and have communion with their Elohim, their Creator. The gate of heaven was open, and Elohim himself came down all the time to have communion with Adam and Eve. Because Adam and Eve, they listen Elohim, they obey his commandment. Because Elohim, every time he comes, he teach them his Torah, his commandment. So because they were obedient to Elohim, having communion, they were living in the Eden, but they were living in a spiritual way. And they had a very high spiritual dimension. The one who obey Elohim, the one who keep the Torah, Yeshua said, if you love me, keep my commandment, that person is the one who is living in the spirit in another dimension. That happened with Adam and Eve before they transgressed. Before they transgress, they don't have worries. They don't have problems. They could enjoy the perfect life and to delight, and they could delight the presence of Elohim. Try to imagine if all the human beings around the world, if at least we could obey the Torah, if we were obedient to Elohim, no more worries, no more wars, no more suffering. This is what Adam and Eve delight, enjoy. But after they transgress the Torah, the commandment of Elohim, everything changed. The land changed. The gate of heaven was closed. Who closed the gate? Elohim himself, he closed, he removed it. We have this in Genesis chapter 3, verse 24. And it's written like this: after he brought the man out, he placed it on the east side of the Garden of Eden. Cherubim, and a flaming sword flashing back and forth to guard the way to the tree of life. Now the men had to wait and be in his guard, waiting the appointed time that Elohim will put back the gate. And now what we must do? We need to find it, the gate, and wait. Before they need to wait until 2,000 years ago, They were waiting the gate. But now, many people, the gate is there, but they need to find it. Who is the gate? I saw a movie, I don't know, 20 something years ago. It's about, the title is Stargate. The movie is about that there is a gate that is open and brings you to another galaxy. And there people met a spirit, demons, extraterrestrials, someone that proclaimed himself God. And it's many things he says that I was astonished, because he says, oh, I come every day, but when I come one day after, it's 1,000 years past already. So I say, they read the Bible before to say that, I say. Yeah. So, but this gate, and they put the pyramids. They use the pyramids. If like the pyramids is also the access or the gate to go to another dimension. But we know that this kind of dimension with spirits and demons, there is the darkness. But to enter to the kingdom of light, we as the human, we that we want the life, is not through the gate of the pyramids. It's not with the to go to the darkness. It's not we need the pyramids, but to go to the kingdom of light, what we need is the gate of the tabernacle. And then the gate of the tabernacle is the Messiah. Who is the Messiah? In John chapter 1, 4, 5 says that the light, Yeshua, the true light, come to this world, and but the darkness didn't receive, because their deeds were evil, and the darkness didn't prevail against the light. So the kingdom of light, the light, the one who brings light to us is Yeshua. So if we want to come to the kingdom of light, we need to pass through the gate of the tabernacle. And how we are going to do to find the way, the gate that brings to the kingdom of light? Is God gave us the way. How we're going to do? We find the gate, the way in the Bible. Since the first chapter, Elohim says, "Let there be light." And all the Bible is about the gate. And what is the Bible? The Bible you have in your hands. What is the Bible? The Bible contains 66 books. The first 5 books we call the Torah. And the Torah is the heart of the Word of God. And everything comes out from it. In addition, there is 34 other books which are called the prophet, the Psalms, and the other writings. The other writing is like Job, Ruth, Esther, and the total of the Old Testament are 39 books. And 39 books. And these 39 books were written for 1,500 years, for 100,000 years before Yeshua. And after Yeshua, to how what we have the Bible here, what we call the Bible. The apostles they wrote 27 other books to complete the whole Bible. The writers of this Bible, the 66 book, obviously they never meet each other. But even if they live even if they didn't live in the same period of time, everyone has a continuity in their message. They were connected one to another. Each book had the same message, the gate. This is the message of the Bible, to appoint the gate that's going to bring us to the access. When I see the tabernacle, you see the tabernacle there? It's beautiful. It looks simple, it's not a big building, but it's beautiful. It's about the kingdom. When I see the tabernacle, it seems to me that the tabernacle it's like all the Bible in a summary. It's a short Bible. Why? Because when we study the tabernacle, everything is there. Yeshua is there. The commandments are there. How people must to deal with others is there. And we see that the tabernacle starts with the gate and finish with the gate. In the same way, Yeshua, the Lord, everything starts with Yeshua and everything finishes with Yeshua. In the book of Colossians chapter 1 verse 15 says, the Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all the creation. And the verse continues saying that everything was created by Yeshua, whether spiritual things, natural things, everything, the heaven and the earth were created by Yeshua. Everything starts with Yeshua and everything finished with Yeshua. Now let's go see, let us speak about the gate and the fence. As we know, for almost 2,000 years, the human being is divided. Divided of what? There is a group of people, they say that we need only to keep Torah and reject Yeshua. Therefore, the other people, they say, we don't need the Torah, only what we need is Yeshua, and we have to reject the Torah. And even only when we speak and we pronounce the word Torah, people become scandalized. And what they do, if they are your friends, they flee, they run away, because they start to think that you are following the current of the Pharisees. What is the current of the Pharisees? Their religion, their false teaching. Why those people that they think that we need to keep only Torah or to follow only Yeshua, and those people that they get away from us, they think like that, is because Everything is written in the scripture. We don't need to have all this explanation. The scripture says that in Hosea chapter 4 verse 6 says, my people is destroyed by lack of knowledge, and they have rejected knowledge. What kind of knowledge? I have a question for you who are listening in Zoom, and you who are there. What kind of knowledge? The knowledge of the Greek philosophia, the science of the wisdom. Elohim is speaking here. Knowledge is Torah. This is the knowledge. Because we have rejected Torah, we are destroyed. We are perishing. And people, they don't know and they are confused. That's why people, they cannot know and recognize that we must come to the Messiah, Yeshua, and keep His Torah. It's very important to remind something. Elohim, what? Elohim words. In Exodus 25 verse 9 says, make the tabernacle and its furnishing exactly the pattern I will show you. It's not the pattern of the churches. It's not the pattern of the Pharisees in the time of Yeshua that we still, the Pharisees, the line of Pharisees is still there. Their religion is still there. That they say that to avoid Yeshua, to reject Yeshua, is not the human pattern, is the pattern that Elohim settled for us. And the pattern is written, and we are going to see here that we could see by the tabernacle itself. In the tabernacle, people say, oh, there is a shadow of things to come. So the old tabernacle is obsolete. Doesn't apply today. But the problem is that obsolete. The problem is, the fact is that the tabernacle is not something that Elohim created, something that He created in that moment. Is something that is in heaven. Something that Elohim showed to Moses, things that are in the heaven. So we cannot rid off of the tabernacle. The natural tabernacle, yeah, but the tabernacle, the spiritual tabernacle, it's remained forever. So the tabernacle itself, the gate, was connected with the fence. We need to bear in mind that the fence connected with the gate and the gate with the fence. They go together. You cannot have in the wilderness only a door there far and what to do there. A door, stand up, and a wall there, an enclosure there. What's going on with that? What, they are separated? No, they were together. Gate and fence have the same characteristic. The gate and the fence had 5 cubits high, because both are perfect. Both is about holiness. Is about purity. And both have the maximum of knowledge and wisdom and revelation. By the way, the gate is part of the fence, and the fence is the continuity. The fence continues with the gate. What the book of John, chapter 1, verse 14 tells us, the Word was made flesh. We could change and we could say the Word is the Torah, and the Torah is the fence. So the fence was made gate. It's the same. If we want to use other words, the fence was made gate. Because the Torah is the fence is the Torah of Yeshua. Yeshua is Elohim himself. And Yeshua, he is the Messiah, the fence, the gate. The Israelites who came in the old time, bringing a sheep, entered the gate, then he was immediately be in the courtyard. You cannot stay beneath the frame of the gate. You must enter, and that way is the courtyard. So, in the same way, the sinner who come to Yeshua, the sinner come to Yeshua. Yeshua being the gate, we come to Yeshua, and then without choice, we cross Yeshua, and there we are inside the fence, and the fence is the Torah. So it's just obvious. This is the pattern to follow. Yeshua the Lord, and right away we must keep Torah. In addition, when you stand at the west side end, you could see there. What is the west side? The door is just at the front. You could see it. A beautiful door, many colors, 4 colors. And you see the north is that side, the south is that side, and you have the west side. At the west side, we have the tent of meeting. There we find the Ark of the Covenant. When you stand from the west side and you look at the east side at the gate, what you could see? You could see it like Elohim from the ark, from the throne of mercy. He is stretching out wide his arm, hugging those who are entered through the gate, Yeshua. And when you come to this side, from the east, when you come to the east, the gate, what you could say, that the gate, and you stand there, look toward the west, the Ark of the Covenant, what do you see? You see that Yeshua, when you enter Yeshua the gate, you see that Yeshua is stretching wide his arm, appointed to where? To the Ark of the Covenant. And what are the arm of Yeshua? The fence of the north and the fence of the south. That telling you here is the direction to follow with my Torah to the Ark of the Covenant. Yeshua in Matthew 23. In Matthew 23, verse 27 says, "Woe to you." Okay, I have a mistake here with the verse, but Yeshua says, "Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how many times my heart was burning, how many times I